So now we've animated the butterfly, you'll see at the top of the screen here we're actually in the butterfly at the moment. There is an arrow that takes us back to the actual scene itself. And if we go and look at the library over on the right hand side, there you will find there is the butterfly itself. And you'll see that that is already in the system, and we can click play and that will show what it would actually look like when it was flapping its wings. So what we're going to do is come down the bottom here now, and we're going to actually put up a new layer, and we're going to call this butterfly. And what we're going to do is we're going to make this a visible layer, so we make sure we can actually see it, that's fine. And with this time, we've got this particular timeline is showing up to 5 seconds. So what we'll say is, let's say about 3 seconds, that's when we're going to want to make the butterfly. Actually, let's take it a little bit further back. Let's try and get it just as the caterpillar is just at the top of the tree there. So we're going to say there, we're going to insert a blank keyframe, and that's where we're going to actually put the butterfly itself. So over here on the right hand side, I can now drag that butterfly from here over onto my timeline. And there is the butterfly. Whoops, hang on a moment. Let's just make sure I've got the right tool selected. Select tool. So what we can do now is make that appear on the timeline. Now she's a little bit big at the moment, so if we click on the transform tool and hold the shift down, that will allow us to make her a little bit smaller. And she is now sat there up in the tree doing absolutely nothing. Let's go back to the select tool, and what we'll do is if we now hit the play on here, what will happen is you will see that the butterfly doesn't seem to move. It's there. So we'll go back to the very beginning. Let's go right the way back to the beginning of the timeline and watch what actually happens. So we click play, you'll see there's the caterpillar, it climbs up the tree and it moves along and the butterfly appears. But it's not flapping its wings. That is because what we've done at the moment is we've added a symbol in, and for us to see that animation we actually need to hit Control and Enter. So let's go Control and Enter and watch what happens when it's exported. So wait for it to go. It's got to do a little bit of processing here to make it all work. Now you'll see there's the caterpillar and there's the butterfly with her wings flapping, which is absolutely brilliant. And the other nice thing that you can do with the transform tool is you can be a little bit sneaky here, and you can actually turn her around so that she looks like she's coming from the other direction, which can also be quite handy. Okay, so I'm just taking a slightly little bit out of proportion now. Go back to that. So what we could say is actually you could start her just off the screen here. Let me go back to where we are. Over here. So she's gone from left there to right. I was actually at the other end of the screen there. So what we can do is you might find that things go a little bit pear-shaped. Let me just take it back before I did all of that. These things happen, we end up with forgetting where we're at. So in that first frame there, let's go back and change her and transform it the other way around. There we go. And I'm actually going to move her over here just so that she's just off the actual timeline there. I can then right click and say put a motion tween in, and then I can make her do some lovely weird things. I can move her to there and then move her to here. Notice every time I move the timeline, that takes her to a different point over there. I can make her go back down here a little bit, back up, off to there, at which point we then transform her back again into a different direction, move along the timeline, so take it to there, and then perhaps we'll make her just finish up about there. So let's have a play and see what that one looks like. Whoops! You can see, you can have lots and lots of fun with this. See what happens, she's floating all through the air. Perhaps we could do a little bit more with it, but that just gives you a basic idea of what you can do when you start to add animation in.